I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Brubaker?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
And Mr. Elliott?
Here. All here and accounted for. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Welcome to the board meeting, the April 5th, 2017 board meeting. I'd like to introduce the board. To my far right is board member Jim Bax. To my immediate right is board member and vice president Kevin Brubaker. I am Greg Elliott. To my immediate left is our senior board member Mike Gebhardt. To his left is board member Annie Karstafen. To her left is our superintendent, Dr. Tom Jama, and to his left is our treasurer, Joy Clickinger. With that said, we'd like to start off with a board recognition here. Amy Higgins. Is that? Marty, is that on? Is that on?
Hello?
No.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. We'd like to ask the board to recognize a very special group of educators who really tackled and spearheaded an amazing project to collect thousands of caps and lids that they turned into a spectacular bench and picnic table at the Elyria Early Childhood Village. It was truly a team effort, a community effort actually, and I'm going to invite Lisa, Sarah, and Vicki up here to tell the story. So I think we'll give Lisa the microphone first to kind of lay the groundwork, and then Sarah and Vicki can talk about the impact it had on the kids.
The CAP project started last year. My niece was collecting bottle caps for her school in Oberlin. We put a little basket in our office and people were throwing caps in, and eventually other people realized we were collecting them, so they started bringing them in or sending them inter-school mail. And eventually my niece's school collected what they needed for a bench, and caps were still coming and still come. And as of yesterday, yes. I stashed the garbage bags of caps that I had in my garage, and I contacted the Oberlin teachers to find out about the project and see how it went. And they said it was an awesome project, and I just kept it in case somebody needed a project. And that's where Sarah comes into play. Sarah needed a project for her resident educator, and I turned the project over to her and Miss Vicki and the preschoolers. And
I knew Lisa did this project last year for her niece, and we had a brand new shade structure we got for our playground, and we were able to get 2 little kid picnic tables. But I'm like, we really need something for bigger people to sit on and more people sit together. So that's when Lisa and I kind of teamed up, actually started over the summer before my project was even starting, to talk about the different options. I made my own flyers, sent it out to everybody. I thought it was just going to start kind of as our school at the EECB. Then I was amazed how it spread out. It started school, and then people who lived in apartments of our preschoolers were starting to collect as an apartment. Then they started going to churches, and parents worked pharmacies. We had a couple of parents with pharmacies, and everybody got involved. It eventually went farther and farther. There's people in Euclid and Mayfield, different schools. So it went from just Elyria to Elyria businesses to outside of Elyria. And it was just amazing how many lids. We ended up collecting how many exactly?
1,800.
Over 1,800. Over 1,800. We needed 1,600. The final count was over 1,800 pounds of lids. So we do have some in the bank, halfway to a bench. If somebody else wants to take over the project, let me know.
We have buckets.
We're still getting lids, and we were just amazed how it brought the whole community together. My students collected the lids every 2 or 3 times a week. My afternoon class is smaller, and it was just, they had so much fun going to each class and picking out the buckets and dumping them and opening the bags. They learned the difference between plastic and metal, which I thought was very impressive for 4-year-olds to know. They, there's tap on it to hear the difference. They sorted them, opened all the bags, and they were so proud of it. And actually, we just, thanks to Jim Wall and Lisa Place, they did a 17-hour round trip to Indiana to drop off our lids and pick up our bench and picnic table. And we got them Monday. They were out on the playground. My whole class. I told them probably an hour before we were going on the playground, hey, remember we talked to Miss Lisa? Because we did a little video chat when she was in the truck. And they came in and they ran out to the playground and all sat on them. The first thing they did. And it was just so funny. They just had to test out to make sure it fit their little bottoms. So something for them to take pride in, to be recycling, and that's their project. So it was really neat.
And we sent it out. Excuse me. Excuse me. We sent it out some time ago, but we did create a video showing the whole process, the collection and everything, and it's on our YouTube channel. I'll resend it to the district so you can take a look at it, but I encourage you to watch it. And just before we close, I think there was one really super cute story that I was going to ask Vicki to tell about caps that came in that really shouldn't have come in because, well,
That's all you.
We had caps from every place. We had Columbus. We had from the pharmacies were amazing what they brought in. But one mother said she kept going into her refrigerator and opening up. They were taking lids off of things that were not even open yet. She said, I have open containers of everything that he has to bring a bag in every day. The dumping of the bags was the highlight of other days. It's amazing. Come over and see it. It's awesome.
I'd like to invite you up to see the board, but we do have
Certificates, actually plaques for you guys. And thank you so much. But please go up and see the board.
Thank you.
Cool. Great project. Thank you very much. Great project.
Okay, that's a good project. Thanks, ladies. Thank you for everything. What a great project. Thanks, ladies. Okay, now the fun part of the meeting. Dr. Bonetto, you have some presentations for us here today?
Good evening. I'd like to thank all of you for coming to the board meeting, and it's a big crowd. I knew I was a district favorite, so thanks for coming to our Eastern Heights board meeting. We appreciate your support. So tonight we have just a couple presentations, and they're pretty short. But before I present, can I just give a shameless plug? Tonight we're having Dine to Donate at Wolfie's, and many of you went for lunch, and thank you for that. We're trying to raise some funds for our students attending Washington, D.C. We're running a little bit short on money, so we were trying to come up with some quick and easy ways to, get a few more kids able to attend the trip. So tonight, through Close at Wolfie's, Dine to Donate, I have flyers. They're on the front table. You present your flyer, and your hostess will mark on the flyer. We'll earn 10% of your tip, your total bill. So, okay. So now back to the board meeting. So I have two presentations tonight, and they're a little bit different than what we've done in the past. I have a group. Mrs. Gowan has been working with her 6th grade students They read a book, and I'm just going to have Mrs. Gowan come up and maybe, do you want to give a little history on it, or is that what they're going to do? Okay, so Mrs. Gowan has a couple students here tonight, and they are going to give a summary of what they've been doing, raising some funds for a great cause. And then following that presentation, we have Mr. David Yee, our orchestra director, and he has some students here that will be performing that had performed earlier this year in February and earned some very high ratings at the Lorain County Solo and Ensemble that was performed in Midview. So they'll be following the first presentation. So thank you and enjoy.
Welcome. My name is Haley Schroll. My name is Hannah Rachel, and this is A Long Walk for South Sudan from Eastern Heights Middle School. A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. We read this at the beginning of the year with Mrs. Gowan and Mrs. Reed. A Long Walk to Water is based on a true story from Salva's side, while another character, Nye, was made up to add more to the story. The I story is written to explain what a village girl's life is like in South Sudan and the hardships that you'll have to face. Salva's story was completely true, and he had to fight and try to survive in the hostile environments of South Sudan. This video shows the main character, Salva, is building wells in South Sudan with our help in the USA.
And now we are bringing the water to them, and next year their life will change. When I went back to the US, I said I should do something else.
Take the microphone over there by the computer. Does that work? No? You got it.
These people don't have anything, and they need someone, one person, just a little thing to open a door to them to go to the next level where they would be able to change their own life by themselves. I don't want any other kid to die because of this simple disease. Make sure you guys build a school over here by the well. That is the goal for us. Everywhere we have the well, make sure the community contribute to build a school in there.
My name is John. I'm one of the teachers. And our school now is started. As you see, without borehole, the school will not be here. But with borehole, the school will be established.
Maybe one of these child will be going to this school, might change the world someday.
But she said in life, he like to be a doctor.
Just that alone, having a borehole and having a school, is a great seed for their future world. When I came here, there were few houses here, and this market wasn't here. This market is blooming here. It's because of that well. Without well, no one, you wouldn't find anyone here in the dry season. It would be just a ghost place. When I came back, I was amazed by what they did.
Regardless of your culture, tribal, and religious belief, it is all about humanity.
Here are some ways how Eastern Heights students have raised money for South Sudan. We've done bake sales, water bottle funding, walkathon, and the school store. The walkathon was another way to earn money for South Sudan. Students asked their family members to give money to them for water for South Sudan. Bottled water was donated to St. Mary's Church in Elyria to feed the poor at Tuesday's Hot Meals program. For the bake sale, we had parents and students bring in baked goods while the students volunteered to sell the baked goods during student conferences. All of the money went to South Sudan. The school store sells anything you will need for school supplies, along with candy and other sweet treats. Funding came from a grant through Thrivent Financial that Mrs. Lotman applied for. Eastern Heights donated to the Iron Giraffe Challenge. We have raised $2,900, well on our way to reach our goal of $5,000 to partially sponsor a well and $15,000 to make our very own well in South Sudan. Tomorrow we find out if we won the Iron Giraffe Challenge.
All right, nice job.
Can you help? Sure. Go to the following website or donate to EHMS in care of Water for South Sudan. Thanks for listening.
Great job, ladies.
Thank you.
Good evening. The following students that you see in front of you performed at the Lorain County Solo and Ensemble event this past February. They earned a superior rating for their performance. So we have two performances actually. The first is going to be a piece called Ballade, which is an arrangement of a piano work broken down for stringed instruments. The second piece is going to be a cello solo performed by Jackie Kaminsky. It's a very famous cello piece. I'm sure you've heard it at some point. It's Bach's famous Suite in G major, the prelude, so I'm sure you'll recognize it when you hear it. And without further ado, we'd love to perform for you. I will be performing with them tonight. One of our students, actually, who did perform at Solon Ensemble, transferred to another school, so I'll be covering her part this evening. As a real quick aside, as a sixth grader last year, she asked me for the music for that, and I said, Jackie, maybe we should get through Mary Had a Little Lamb first. And then in 1 year's time, she showed me up, so she knows how to play it really quite well, as you can tell.
Hell yeah.
Great, nice job. Nice job. You guys did a great job. Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bonetto and Eastern Heights for hosting us today. And what a wonderful presentation. We enjoyed both of them. And now we need to move on to board business. First item is visitor comments. The Elyria School Board encourages and appreciates citizens' interest in meetings of the Board of Education. Normally, the board will meet twice during the month and will make accommodations to allow public participation. Persons wishing to address the board for up to 5 minutes may place their name on the sign-in sheet 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting, indicating the topic they would wish to address, or make a written request to the treasurer's office 1 week in advance of the board meeting to speak up to 15 minutes. Each meeting's participant will be invited to speak directly to the board so that their remarks may be clearly heard and questions may be asked by the board. And I believe we do not have anyone signed up for any visitor comments today. So we'll move along on the agenda to board member discussion items. And today we will have a brief discussion from our board member, Annie Christoffen. She is our representative on the JVS board. So she will give us an update on what is going on at the JVS board. Annie?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Our JVS board meets the third Thursday of each month. We've had our 3 meetings so far, January, February, and March. Just to let you know that we reconstructed the Office of Communications and we have a new Director of Communication. And the goal is to promote inclusion and recruitment and enrollments of all students. Career services. For 2016, 94 students from 18 programs interned, 84 in 84 companies, adding $250,000 in the local economy. We're now accepting applications for qualified students from the 2017 school year for internships from JBS. Also, we had a work key pilot for career tech options with 18 students participating. And we also had students in competitions locally and nationally. The JBS Carpentry and Allied Health programs raised $2,000 to help build a house in El Salvador. And I'm sure you all heard about the guinea pig, Luna the guinea pig. And that's where a 3D printer was used to design a wheelchair for a student's guinea pig. And this was done in one of the digital media art classes. And this shows the collaboration between the teachers, the students, and everyone involved to make sure that the student was able to get a wheelchair for her guinea pig. The story aired on CBS 19, News Channel 5, Fox News, and the Channel 8 website. And also it was on the front page of the Chronicle, Telegram, and also it was in the Morning Journal. And also JVS board work session. We will be having our board work session on the 29th of this month at 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And that's going to be at the LCCC Spitzer Conference Center. And that's for our board strategic plan.
Very awesome. Okay. Anything else? Good.
That's all.
Great. Super. Thanks for the update on what's going on at the JVS. And at the next meeting, we'd like to hear an update from our board member on the endowment board. So, Mr. Bax, if you'd be available to present at the next meeting. Okay, moving along on the agenda item to the minutes. The board minutes from the March 7th and the March 16th meetings have been posted, and the board members have read those at their own leisure. We will need a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make the motion.
So I have a motion by board member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by board member Brubaker. Any discussion? No discussion. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Moving along on the agenda to the treasurer action items. Madam Treasurer, you're up.
Donations. To recommend, express appreciation, and accept the following gifts and donations as listed in the agenda.
That is all I have this evening.
Oh, okay. So just donations on the treasurer action items this evening. Do I have a motion to approve the donations for the treasurer action items?
So moved.
So moved. I have a motion by board member Christoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by board member Gebhardt. Any questions, comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Let me see here. Treasurer other.
Yes, number 1, expulsion appeal hearing. To appoint board members Mike Gebhardt and Annie Karstafen as primary representatives and Jim Bax, Kevin Brubaker, and Greg Elick as alternates for an expulsion appeal hearing. The hearing date will be Monday, April 24th, 2017 at 4:30 p.m. at the Board of Education Administration Building in Elyria, Ohio. That is all I have this evening.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer other items?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Board Member Brubaker and a second by Board Member Bax. Any discussion? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. The motion carries. Do we have anything under the Treasurer report or the OFCC, OFSC?
Just a reminder on the OFCC project is we will be doing construction manager at risk interviews on Monday.
Oh, Monday? Okay, great.
So we'll have more news after that.
Okay, super. All right. So that moves us into the superintendent action items. Dr. Jama.
Thank you, Mr. President. Action item number 1, approval of overnight field trips. To approve the overnight field trip for Prospect Elementary School 5th grade students to Cuyahoga Valley Education Center in Peninsula, Ohio on November 15th through the 17th, 2017 as detailed in enclosure K1. To approve the overnight field trip for Elyria High School JROTC students to Manacot Scout Reservation in Peninsula, Ohio on June 5th through June 9th, 2017 as detailed in enclosure K2. To approve the overnight field trip for Elyria High School CBI students to Columbus, Ohio on April 10th and 11th, 2017 as detailed in enclosure K3. To approve the overnight field trip for Eastern Heights Middle School students council to attend the Student Council State Conference in Clarksville, Ohio from April 27th to the 29th, 2017 as detailed in enclosure K4. Approval of purchase order from Academic Services to approve the purchase order to Hufflin Mifflin Court for preschool curriculum. This is not to exceed $41,000. This purchase order will be supported by Title VI, B grant, ECE grant, and the General Fund grant. And again, this is new preschool curriculum for our littlest learners in Elyria. Item 6, to approve the purchase of 35 HP Z240 workstations from X-Tech Partners Incorporated at a cost not to exceed $37,800, and these are being used to replace current systems in our building administrator offices throughout the district. Item 7, Educational Service Center, to approve the 2017-2018 County Service Agreement contract for the services provided by the Educational Service Center of Lorain County as detailed in enclosure K7. Item 8, to approve the contract with Bus Movers and More, LLC, for a public online auction to sell equipment, vehicles, and materials that are obsolete, damaged, or no longer used in the operation of the district. The date of the online auction will be April 11th. And Mr. Wall, if any board member does have questions with reference to this item, he is able to answer questions about the auction. Item number 9, real estate purchase. To approve the real estate purchase agreement resolution as presented. Be it resolved that the Elyria City School District Board of Education purchased the real property located at 398 Oberlin Road, Elyria, Ohio 44035, Lorain County permanent parcel numbers 10-000-003-120-007 and 10-000-003-120-008 for a total purchase price of $18,320 under the terms and conditions of the purchase agreement prepared by the board's counsel, a copy which is on file within the treasurer's office. It is further resolved that the president and the treasurer or the treasurer are authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the board and sign any other documents and take any other necessary actions to effectuate the transaction. And with that, Mr. President, that concludes my items under superintendent actions for the board's consideration.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jama. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second by Board Member Brubaker. Questions, comments? I do have a question on the computers.
Yes.
You said that was also coming from the general fund grant. Did you mean just the general fund?
Yeah, it'll be a fund. That's correct,
Okay.
Mr.
Do we
President.
know how much is coming out of the general fund and how much is from the grants on that by chance?
Zero. This would be general fund. It shouldn't say grant.
So it's all general fund?
Yes,
No,
sir.
no grants? Okay. Can you mark that for the record?
Absolutely.
And then I did have a question on the auction. I saw Mr. Wallen here somewhere. Is there an admin fee on that, or do they just get a percentage of what they sell on the contract? Okay, so just a percent of what they sell, no other fee. Okay, good. Other questions, comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Superintendent Other.
Mr. President, I do not have any items under Superintendent Other, but I have several items under Personnel Action as recommended by the Superintendent.
Fire away.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 1, to approve the unpaid leave of absence of the following certified staff member as detailed below. Tammy Lukarczyk, Intervention Specialist. Item number 2, to approve the disability retirement of certified staff as detailed below. Catherine Smith, grade 3 Ely. Item number 3, appointment of certified staff. To approve the appointment of the following certified staff as detailed below. Dennis Craig Korfman will be teaching next year business at the Elyria High School. Also following by Marie Fisher, Brianna Simpkins, and Rebecca Wendt for substitute tutors and or instructional home tutors. Item number 4, to approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following certified staff member as detailed below. Chad Huser for assistant outdoor track coach at the Elyria High School. And kind of nice that we had to do this is because of the number of students actually out for track, so we needed additional supervision and additional coaching. Item number 5, to approve the following game workers for their athletic service as detailed below, both certified and non-employees. Item 6, approval of student workers to approve the appointment of the following Elyria High School student worker as part of the rental team for the 2016-17 school year for the Performing Arts Center at $12.50 per hour as detailed below. Item number 7, to approve the unpaid leave of absence of the following classified staff member as detailed below. Heather Dirtle, Administrative Assistant, Administration Center, and Tammy Ann Davis, Special Education Paraprofessional at Windsor. Item 8, retirement. To approve the retirement of the classified administrative staff as detailed below. Gary W. Taylor, Director of Human Resources. Item number 9, to approve the retirement of the following classified staff as detailed below. Victor Toth, Head Custodian, Crestwood. Item 10, to approve the disability retirement of the following classified staff member as detailed below. Barnetta Kenyard, driver at the Elyria High School. Resignation, to approve the resignation of the following classified staff as detailed below. Janine Williams, cleaning at the Elyria High School. Item 12, appointment of classified staff. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff members as detailed below. And we have Edward Roseman, who will be moving from substitute building operations to cleaner 8-hour position at Ely and Northwood, as well as several staff members listed below that individual. And with that, Mr. President, that concludes my recommendations under personnel actions as recommended by the superintendent for the board's consideration this evening.
Great, thank you, Dr. Jama. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent personnel action items?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Board Member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Christoffen. Any discussion? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries.
President, there's a few of them here today. If you'd like to have Mr. Taylor.
Oh, absolutely. Would you, Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Dr. Jama, and fellow board members, fellow teachers, staff. We have 2 of our new hires here.
Yeah, do you want the microphones? We'd like to introduce some new hires here and make sure that they can hear Mr. Taylor.
Hello.
Yeah. All right.
It's a great deal of pleasure to introduce our first certified staff hire for the 17-18 season, Craig Korfman. Craig, if you could stand up and join me in welcoming Craig, who will be at Elyria High teaching in the Business and Technology Department. Welcome, Craig.
Welcome, Craig.
And Stan Roseman, who will be part of the business operations staff at Ely and Northfield. Welcome, Stan. Thank you.
Welcome, Stan. Great. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Dr. Jama, do you have a superintendent report for us here today?
Yes, I do, Mr. President, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to the board and to the staff here this evening. First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Bonetto and Mr. Cerrito with reference to the performances tonight. They were fantastic. It's a highlight of many of the great things that take place here at Eastern Heights, and we commend you for your work and everything that's done to make sure these kids have the best education possible. I'd also like to thank and welcome all the staff members that are here tonight. Thank you for attending the board meeting. It's exciting to see so many colleagues out in the audience. Just a couple things I'd like to let the board know about. On Monday night, I had an opportunity to present a brief presentation to a board of directors from CALEA, and that has to do with our Elyria Police Department. They are up for CALEA certification, and please don't ask me what CALEA stands for because I have it memorized and I'm just not remembering it tonight. But I had an opportunity to present to them on Monday night. It was a wonderful opportunity to highlight the many things about our Elyria Police Department and the strong working relationship that we have with the Elyria Police Department. They are an incredible force of individuals who are out there to protect and serve. I'm very biased, I guess, having a son on the Elyria Police Department, but no, it was a great opportunity. If they receive this award, there's only 7% of the police stations in the United States who receive this. And CALEA has to do with best performances and best practices within an organization. So let's keep our fingers crossed with reference to them receiving this high honor. Just a couple of announcements this weekend. The musical Hairspray will be performed at the Elyria High School Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So if you are interested, please attend the musical at the Elyria High School Performing Arts Center. Saturday night we had the Pioneer Reverse Raffle, which was attended wonderfully. And I know many people had a great time that night, and it's a wonderful opportunity to raise funds for our athletic department. And then finally, as you know, I love to get out into the buildings and visit schools. And over the last week, I had an opportunity to visit Crestwood, Westwood, and today I visited Prospect. And I would like to commend you, Mr. Bax. I had an opportunity to explore the new sandbox at Prospect, and I tell you, your mechanical and skills have been greatly used with that. It's a wonderful, wonderful
thank you.
Piece of equipment for the kids. And I'll tell you, the staff were very excited about it. I spoke to Ms. Becca and the other staff members in the area, and they were taking turns with kids actually getting in the sandbox for the very first time. So kudos to you, Mr. Bax.
Just for the record, what did Mr. Bax have to do with this sandbox?
I believe he designed it, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that is no.
No?
No. I simply manufactured it.
Oh, okay.
As I told Amy, there were so many people involved in this that turned out to be quite a project. Started with Kristen Kappa, and we were trying to figure out how to put a lid on this thing to keep the rain out and all the different things, and we just got so frustrated we couldn't come up with anything. And then about 6 weeks ago or so, my wife Donna found this design on Facebook, and I looked at it and said, this is perfect. And so just made some modifications, made it quite a bit sturdier than the design on Facebook, and the Prospect PTO financed the project, and so then we got this thing all built, and it must have weighed 200 pounds or something. So now it's in my garage. I can't move it. So Mr. Wall and three of his guys came over. We picked it up, and 30 minutes later we had it in place and with sand in it. And
wonderful.
Wow, and it was cool. So it was a great project.
I can tell you,
just really good
experience. The kids absolutely love it. So.
Great, thanks, Mr. Bax, our retired board member.
Well, we'll see how Mr. Horstman likes it in about 3 weeks or so, a couple 3 weeks with the sand.
I have a question, Mr. Bax.
What?
You said it weighed 200 pounds. Was that with you in it? I was told you wouldn't get out of it.
Well, that's true, but I did get out when they did carry it off the trailer and put it in place. I did get out then.
All right, back to Dr. Jama here. Let's go.
Also, today visiting Prospect, it was pretty exciting. I was in Mrs. Back's classroom. Is she in the room?
Yes, she's hiding back there.
Donna, what was the name of the little girl who read today for the first time to your class? Leela. As I went into her classroom today, they had two groups going on, and they were writing and talking about writing, and her lesson had to do with adjectives today. And she asked if any students would like to read their story to me as I was sitting there with the small group. And Donna said the little girl raised her hand, and that's the first time. Am I correct, Donna, in saying that? That's the first time she wanted to read in front of the group. So it was exciting to watch her read. She did a beautiful job. Her story was amazing. And it's just another powerful example of what our kids are being taught in our district. It's absolutely amazing. So with all of you here tonight, I thank you for what you do each and every single day. And with that, Mr. President, that concludes my comments.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jama, for your report. Moving on the agenda to Board of Education. Are there any discussion items from the board here today? No?
Already talked about the sandbox.
Okay. Yeah, Jim already talked about the sandbox.
Right, we already covered that. Thank you.
So moving on then, with going to the end of our agenda here, first off, I'd like to thank everybody for attending the meeting today, and we greatly appreciate it. And now I'd like to request an executive session for the purpose of preparing for negotiations for bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment with no action to follow, as authorized under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22.
So moved.
So moved. I have a motion by Board Member Christoffen and a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen? Aye. Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries, and that is with no action to follow.